I'll be at your side forevermore. Because your love keeps lifting me. Keeps on lifting me. Keeps on lifting me. Your love is lifting me higher. Because your love keeps lifting me. Keeps on lifting me. Your love is lifting me higher. Higher. Now once I was downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. Well, you came and he soon departed, and he never showed his face again. Because your love is lifting me higher. Keeps on lifting me. Than I've ever. Your love keeps lifting me higher. Well, keep it up. Your love keeps quench my desire. Keeps on lifting me. I'll be at your side. Your love keeps lifting forevermore. Me higher. Show my face again. Because your love is lifting me higher. Keeps on lifting me. Than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up. Your love keeps quench my desire. Keeps on lifting me. I'll be at your side forevermore. Because your love is lifting me higher. Keeps on lifting me. Than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up. Your love keeps lifting quench my desire. Keeps on lifting me. Oh, your love keeps lifting me higher.
Yeah. Let's hear it for the band. I don't care where you are. Applaud. Wake people up. Make a beautiful noise. Good morning, Jubilee. Happy Beltane. Isn't it great to hear the band and to hear the band live? Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, everyone in the band, for making this possible. I invite you to stay for the entire Sunday, stay for the breakout rooms, and when you're unmuted, also make a beautiful noise. It really is a wonderful cacophony. Our theme for today is Becoming Joy, and it's perfect for the celebration of Beltane, the ancient festival celebrating fertility and seeking blessing on all that has been newly seeded. Beginning on sunset on the last day of April, where great bonfires are lit, known to some as Walpurgisnacht, and stretching as far as the 5th of May for those who like to party based on astronomy. It's a cross-quarter holiday, just like Imbolc, Samhain, and Lammas, a day that falls between an equinox and solstice. Most folks know Beltane for the maypole, which is a lot of fun. But there's also a procession that must first wind through a village, led traditionally by a hobby horse, not the hobby horse that you get on as a kid and rocks back and forth. A totally different kind of hobby horse, known as the weos, and you call it by osos, weos. That horse pays special attention to those who might be too old to venture outside, folks that may have even played the role of the weos in times past. In the Cornish village of Padstow, a song is sung around the clock to celebrate what is seen as the beginning of the planting summer. Unite and unite, let us all unite, for summer is a-comin' today. And whither we are going, we all will unite in the merry morning of May. But we don't have to be in Padstow or Norfolk or anywhere but where we are right now to celebrate the spirit of Beltane, the coming together of the sun and the green. We can unite in Arden and Montfort, in Hendersonville and on Zoom, wherever. These celebrations are as ancient as humanity itself and is culturally global with many, many names. And these celebrations are immediately necessary. Not that we have to replicate customs that might not be culturally relevant to who we are, but to have customs, period. To create rituals of blessing and hope with our own bright contact with the earth. To know that when we dig in the dirt, planting packets of tomatoes from a greenhouse, we're doing something as old as our species, but as new as right now. We're in ceremony, whether we like it or not. And we may as well like it. And we may as well sing. Since man was first created, his works have been debated. We have celebrated the coming of spring. Howl and ho, jolly rumbelow, we were up long before the day-o, to welcome in the summer, to welcome in the Mayo. The summer is a-comin', the winter's gone away, oh. Welcome, Jubilants. Daniel, take it away.
Awake, my soul, yes. Awake, my soul. Ooh. Awake, my soul. You were made to meet your maker. You were made to meet your maker. You were made to meet your maker.
So I invite you to face the east. Whether you're standing or sitting, direct your attention, direct your heart towards the new. Spirits, angels, who say, be not afraid. Allies who are with us. Guardians of the East, we welcome you. We acknowledge your presence. We're grateful for your gifts. Gifts of new days, new spring, new possibilities, new ideas, new moments, new breaths. The breath of spirit coming in each new moment. We are deeply grateful. May we sing your blessings as we proceed today. I hope. Spirits, angels, allies, and guardians of the South, we acknowledge and welcome you. We're grateful for your gifts. We acknowledge that air gives way to fire of summer, which transforms and turns the air and the earth into warmth and light, blessings, expansion, transformation. We are deeply grateful for this, and we acknowledge you for these gifts. May we live our day today transforming, sharing light and warmth with everything under the sun today. In deep gratitude, Aho. Spirits, angels, allies, and guardians of the West, we acknowledge and welcome your presence here with us. We are deeply grateful for your gifts, the waters that run through, that fire succumbs to, as we come to the time of letting go of the things that we're full and that we have learned, and that we pay attention to what is most valuable so that we can discern and harvest the things that we want to carry with us through the winter and let the rest go. We are deeply grateful for the opportunity to notice this possibility so that we can really let go of the stuff that we really don't need anymore, so that we can open space for new possibilities ahead. In deep, deep gratitude for this opportunity to remember on this day, in this moment. Aho. Spirits, angels, allies, guardians of the North, we stand here in deep humility, knowing that we are part of a much, 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 much bigger reality than we have any idea of. As cells on this huge planet that has given us so much, may we remember who we really are. May we remember what's possible for us as tiny yet powerful beings on Earth. May we realize who we really are and step just a little bit closer to that in this moment, in this day. Aho. Turn and face the center. Face the video in front of you. Face those rectangles that we're calling a circle. Face this technology that humans and spirit and creativity and ideas and possibility has created so that we can be standing here in this room speaking to you in your room, our life. We are deeply grateful for this possibility, this opportunity to be together in a deep way today, in this moment. Aho. So as we sing this Shirley Caesar song, look in the chat for a link for the virtual hunger basket so you can share some of your surplus, some of your heart, some of your compassion with others under the sun. And I'm delighted that Paula Hanke is going to be leading the song here, and that River Gargarian is over there on the drums, and that Vineet Allen is playing the bass today. Welcome, Vineet. And that our own Jim Taylor is over there playing the guitar, singing some backup vocals. And here we are. Here we go.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this joy that I have, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This joy, everybody, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, no. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
One more time.
The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody. Isn't it great having the band here? I saw the notes that you had trouble hearing Daniel. He was using a mic, but apparently that mic didn't quite connect this morning. So sorry that you had trouble hearing that. Trust me that it was a beautiful calling of the directions, and you can just enjoy that spirit. Hopefully you can hear the band all right now that they're playing, and some people are shaking their heads. It's a mix. Some people are giving a thumbs up. So maybe check the sound on your laptop or Zoom to make sure it's all the way up so that you can hear us. It's definitely coming through our Zoom, so we're not sure why some of you are having a harder time hearing it. Okay, so our first gift today is actually a video from Timbo Wilkins. And many of you know Timbo. He's been a long-time jubilant. And if you know Timbo, you know the reason I'm introducing his video this morning is because he is out fishing this weekend. So he made this video for us, though, about an experience he had with monarch butterflies and milkweed plants. If you've been around for a while, you know that Timbo has started a process that has grown and grown to give away thousands of milkweed plants every year. And we're going to be doing that again this year. He's got the plants all lined up. He's sharing them not only with Jubilee, but with numerous environmental organizations around the region that will be able to plant them in various places. But Jubilants, if you want to plant some milkweed plants, look for more information coming the first Sunday of June. The first Sunday of June, we're going to figure out how to get those milkweed plants to anyone in Jubilee who wants them. But let's watch why we might want them in this video by Timbo.
Many of you might recognize me as Timbo, the guy for about the last 8 years now in Asheville that is passing out milkweed seed for the monarchs. And the reason that we are doing this is we're trying to bring some awareness. Over the last 20-some years now, the monarchs have lost over 90% of their one and only food source for the caterpillar stage, which is called the swamp milkweed. And over the last years, we passed these seeds out so people could go plant them. And I've had stories of where the monarchs have actually came and landed and put their eggs on it. Well, that story is actually what I'm about to share now, because it happened to me last year. So last year I planted a beautiful milkweed. It grew up. In about September, I noticed the plant was all stripped of its leaves. When I went over to inspect it, I found 4 caterpillars on it, munching on the leaves. A couple days later, the caterpillars were gone. So I did a little survey in the area and ended up finding 2 places where the monarch caterpillars were changing into their chrysalis stage. And then over the next 12 days, I watched this transformation until it got to the exciting time where you could start to see the actual monarch inside that pod. And then it hatched. I was like beyond myself. I actually birthed a creature. I had a cigar to go with it. I'll show you a picture. Then that monarch, which I named Molly after one of my friends, climbed up on the log, flapped its wings, and then took flight. And when it took flight, it went up and across my front yard about 20, 30 feet up. It got to the far end of my yard. It circled around and started back. So I walked up. When it got over my head, I held my hand up. This little monarch came right down out of the sky and landed right on the end of my finger. We had about 5 magical moments of just looking at each other and appreciating each other. And then Molly took flight. So there is one experience of one person changing the world. A few hours later, the second monarch hatched. I named her Moni. Moni actually climbed up on the log, climbed up on a rose bush, and hung out on the rose bush for 2 days before she decided to take flight. For all we know, they went all the way back to Mexico and are on their way back as we're speaking right now to start a new generation of monarchs. So what I'm asking for you today is to go online, type in swamp milkweed, look it up on your internet, find either seed packets or starter plants, put them in your yard, educate yourself where to plant them, and then they'll grow back every single year, and they'll add much color to your area. And let's help out these little guys. They need our help.
Thank you, Timbo. And that was on behalf of the Earth Team, which is very active this year. So thank you, Earth Team. Thank you, Timbo. Watch for the monarch plants that are getting ready to come. And now I believe we're getting some messages about the band. So we're trying to figure things out here. This is, I'm just going to ask you all to be very adaptable over the next few weeks as we get the band back in this place, and then as we start inviting people in. Each week it's going to be a little bit of an experiment. It's part of the whole adaptation process that our world is going through this year. So hang in there with us. But I think we're going to have another song here in just a second.
So just invite you to look in the chat, sing along with this song, and also just say hi to folks in the chat. This is an opportunity. Is that right? Is it time for us to do the passing of the peace? Is this time?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just reach out in the chat and say hey to folks and sing along.
In the midst of the morning we open to all of the gifts of the day. We open our hearts to take it all in and give it all back in our way. Let us sing of the beauty around us. Let us sing of the beauty within. Oh, hear the earth tell that all shall be well. Anam Kara, Anam Kara. We're part of it all in our sorrow. We're part of it all in our bliss. We're part of the sun. We're part of the rain. We're all part of God's holy kiss. Let us sing of the beauty around us. Let us sing of the beauty within. Oh, hear the earth tell that all shall be well. Anam Cara, Anam Cara, so fresh.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So we, the band, are scheduled today. Oh no, we're not.
I was supposed
We
to
are
do
today,
this
but
before
not
on
yet.
Carl, so I'm going to do it now.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I forgot. I was busy looking at all the notes about who could hear and who couldn't hear. So we're going to pause and we're going to pray. If you've got a bowl that you want to ring with us or a candle that you want to light wherever you are, I invite you to do that now. And wherever you are, take a deep breath down into your belly. Have a comfortable seat. Feel your feet on the earth. Open your heart. Relax your mind. And breathe. If you'd like to share any prayer concerns in the chat, you may do that. And wherever you are this morning, I invite you to drink in the delight of this springtime, this Beltane, this awakening earth. Drink in the juiciness of the plants growing, that spring green emerging. Drink in the sunshine and the rain watering the earth, pouring out its love unconditionally on all of us. St. Francis sang a canticle to the sun, to brother sun, to sister moon, to the playfulness of brother fire, and the humility of sister water, the stormy moods of brother wind, the governance of Mother Earth. And to all, St. Francis said, praised be you, praised be you, praised be you. Drink in the delight. Feel the gratitude. Open your heart to all that is good and holy and beautiful and true. And from that place of gratitude and compassion and delight and joy, pour out your desires. Name your longings. And imagine those desires dropping from your mind down into your heart. And from your heart out into the world. Desires for healing and peace. For joy for all people. For safety and well-being. That all may be well, all may be safe, all may be happy, all may be at peace. And so it is. Oh, yeah. Daniel, let's bring some joy.
All right, we're going to bring some joy. I'm going to invoke Jeremiah.
Time to get out of your seats.
Uh-huh.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but I helped him as drink his wine. And he always had somebody find a wine. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. If I were the queen of the world, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the war and make sweet love to you. Yeah, I'd make sweet love to you. Sing it, joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Come down, yo. I love the 80s. I love to have my fun. A high night flyer, a rainbow rider, a straight shooting son of a gun. Yes, a straight shooting son of a gun. Sing it, joy, joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Yeah, joy, joy, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. One more time. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Ho! Ow, ow, ow. Oh, yeah.
Woo! Oh, yeah. Well, today our theme is becoming joy, if you hadn't figured that out. And our first reading is from Isaiah chapter 55. For you shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills before you will break into singing, and all the trees of the fields shall clap their hands. And from Rumi, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Friends, this is ancient wisdom and holy word. Thanks be to all that is wise and holy. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom and God. Hallelujah.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
So this African-American spiritual sings of a joy that is deeper, wider, stronger than the temporary pleasures we spend so much of our lives seeking. And like with so many spirituals, there's a sense of pain transmuted into pleasure, of suffering subsumed into the satisfaction of knowing God, of difficulties transfigured into delight. I think we're so often drawn to spirituals and to gospel music because it comes from that deep place of knowing a strength beyond what makes sense, knowing a peace that passes understanding, knowing a delight that defies logic. And because of this, these songs have juice. They are juicy. This joy was written by North Carolinian Shirley Caesar. Born in 1938 in Durham, the 10th of 13 children, Caesar is known as the First Lady of Gospel Music. She began recording at the age of 12 and has made 40 albums. She performed for the Obamas at the White House in 2015, along with Aretha Franklin. And in 2016, at the age of 78, Caesar found herself back at the very top of the gospel Billboard chart.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, no. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
The world didn't give it to me. Now, the world here means the circumstances of our reality. Our circumstances may be happy or they may be sad. They may be delightful or they may be devastating. They may inspire hope or they may require help. They might lift us heavenward or drag us through hell. Our circumstances are always changing, always impermanent, always unpredictable. The circumstantial evidence of our lives might condemn us to unhappiness or even despair. We look at the ecological mess we've created, or the political divisions, or the racial hatred, or the mass delusions overwhelming our nation, or even situations smaller and closer to home, our illnesses, our estrangements. And the situations may not lead us to think happy thoughts.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
What the world doesn't mean here is the earth. It doesn't mean here we're in hell and later we'll be in heaven. The joy in the song is here on earth and now, not later. And earth is part of the beauty. When I was in my own church choir as a teenager, we sang this wonderful anthem based on that text from Isaiah that I read. You shall go forth in joy, be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth into singing. And I always loved singing that and imagining the mountains and the hills breaking forth into singing and the trees clapping their hands. The world of circumstances may not give us joy, but the earth not only gives joy, but joins us in expressing joy. I mean, look around you this spring. It is great out there, juicy, joyful. You don't have to be a pagan to get this, though I think pagans do have a little more fun on Beltane than a lot of Christians do even at Christmas. This week, we had this beautiful supermoon, a pink full moon, and I joined others to walk Johanna's labyrinth that night. As I moved under the moon, through the twists and turns of the path, I felt the tensions and irritations and confusions of that day just slipping away. And stepping through the gorgeous design under that exhilarating moon, my bare feet found their rhythm. And this song kept coming into my head.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
The world can't take it away. The world can't take it away. The world can't take it away. How do we enter into that deep knowing, that place of peace more compelling than any momentary disturbance, that source of potency that can energize any situation, that truth beyond all the facts? This year, we have seen and felt that we are in the midst of what's been called the Great Unraveling. But the Great Unraveling did not start with the pandemic or with disturbing reports from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change or with the 2016 election. Most of us here today have been living through the Great Unraveling for much of our lives. It's just getting more obvious for those who hadn't noticed before. Father Richard Rohr wrote this week that we are living in apocalyptic times. He then explained, apocalyptic literature, say that 5 times fast, is not meant to strike fear in us as much as radical rearrangement. It's not the end of the world, it's the end of worlds, our worlds that we have created. In the book of Revelation, also called the Apocalypse, John is trying to describe what it feels like when everything falls apart. It's not a threat, it's an invitation to depth. It's what it takes to wake people up to the real, the lasting, to what matters. It presents the serious reader, he writes, with the great what if. What if? What if the great unraveling and the great turning, in Joanna Macy's words, are the same thing? It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Some days. Or as they sang in the 60s, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Now, whether you buy into the astrology or not, it's easy to understand the metaphorical truth that we are in the midst of a sea change of human existence. From the moon landing in 1969 to the Mars landing in 2021, we've seen a speeding up of new technologies on the one hand and of mass conspiracy theories on the other. Coincidence? What if we, you, me, Jubilee, are here incarnate in this moment to be part of this change? What if the dawning of that new age began with a group of people who got to know this weird jazz musician in the 1980s who was a fan of a weird theologian who wrote a controversial book about, of all things, original blessing? For those of you who are newer to Jubilee, let me spell out that I'm talking here about Howard Hanger and Matthew Fox and the beginning of this community. Far-fetched that this little group of goofballs dwelling in this little city known as the cesspool of sin might have something to do with the Great Turning? What if? What if? What if we lived as if this were true? And what if, now that Howard is no longer captain of the ship, but is comfortably sipping cocktails on the deck, the crew is in charge of making sure that we're setting our sails with the winds of the Spirit to take us in the next direction of our destiny? What if everything that's happened here in the last 2 years is the painful tilling of the soil, the decay required for making compost, the tearing up and breaking down that gets us ready to plant new seeds in this beautiful garden known as Jubilee? What if our challenge in this moment is to sink down deep into the bosom of Mother Earth and find a joy so bright that no shadow of this world can dull its glow? What if we find a joy, a peace, a love that comes from a source greater than the charms and challenges of this moment and raises us to a vantage point where we can see beyond our usual field of vision and into the endless fields of possibility?
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
So how do we do this? What gets us from here to there? Brother David Stendhal-Rast writes, joy is that extraordinary happiness that is independent of what happens to us. Good luck can make us happy, but it cannot give us lasting joy. The root of joy is gratefulness. The root of joy is gratefulness. In the Book of Joy, the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu reflect on their lives of activism, spiritual leadership, and joy. Both were in their 80s already when this book was made. And if you've ever seen either of them in person or even on a TV appearance, you'll know that traits they share are their wide smiles and easy laughter. Their eyes twinkle, exuding a contagious sense of play. You look at them and think, ooh, juicy. But if you know anything about either of their lives, you know this joy did not come easily. The Dalai Lama was exiled from his home in occupied Tibet as a young man, and his life has been dedicated to the causes of freedom and peace, so much so that he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his nonviolent struggle for the liberation of Tibet. Archbishop Tutu grew up under apartheid in South Africa and has spent his life fighting that system of racialized hatred and other systems of oppression around the world. He chaired the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that brought South Africans together to publicly name the traumas of apartheid. How very different from our own nation's culture of whitewashing our most painful history. So when Archbishop and the Dalai Lama giggle and tease and dance together and share their joy, you know it comes from a place that has seen the worst of what humanity can be and do. Not just seen it, but lived it. And yet, joy. And yet, laughter. And yet, playfulness. So juicy. Now, the end of that book includes practices for overcoming each of the 8 obstacles to joy that these two describe, and practices to cultivate the 8 pillars of joy that they name. And they named them this way: perspective, humility, humor, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. Each practice is simple: journaling for gratitude, meditating for compassion, walking in nature. They're practices that we talk about and do here at Jubilee. What if? What if? What if this crazy community is a critical piece of the puzzle that humanity needs right now? This place that preaches acceptance and gratitude, that practices humor and generosity. This group that leans into the beauty of this earth and the love of God that never, ever fails. What if becoming joy is the answer to the questions of our time? It's like that great Howard Thurman quote: "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do it. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive." What makes you come alive? What brings you joy? What gets your juices flowing? What if your lively, juicy joy is exactly what the world needs right now? Oh, yeah.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, but this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. The world can't give it. The world can't take it away.
One more time.
World can't give it. World can't take it away.
Ho!
Wow, this has been incredible, or is an incredible celebration today. The band is wonderful, the music's fabulous, the messages are great. Thank you to all of you for what you're giving us today. Just a few Jubilee in Action messages and or announcements. And just a reminder that the links to everything are in chat and on the website and in the newsletter. So, Creation Care is starting another 7-week-long Eco Grief Circle on Thursdays at 12 noon, and they start on May 13th through June 24th. These are online opportunities to explore emotional feelings about the devastation caused by climate change in a setting that offers mutual support, healing, insight, and love. Jubilee's partnering with the Pauli Murray Center for History and Social Justice to present Just Conversations, a series of online discussions with activists about the lessons that they have learned working long-term with people who share their goals, but not all of their identities. The first conversation will feature Reverend Naomi Tutu, Desmond Tutu's daughter, who was one of our main speakers a few months ago, and Rose Bader on Thursday, May 20th. 4 more events are scheduled for June 13th and 17th and July 18th and 22nd, and they'll be listed in next week's newsletter and on our website in the next day or two. Jubilee needs folks with video, audio, and Zoom skills to help out when we start having live in-person celebrations later this summer. If you can assist with this, contact Patrick Fitzsimmons. And the communications team needs folks who know how to use MailChimp or WordPress to occasionally write our newsletter and update our website when I'm out of town. So contact me if you're able to help out with this. And that is it for Jubilee in Action today.
Mortals join the happy chorus, which the morning stars began. Love divine is reigning o'er us, joining all in
came on a good Sunday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, band. So juicy to have you here. So joyful. What would it look like to live your juiciest, liveliest, most joyful life? Go and do that. Oh, yeah.
All shall be well. All
shall be well. All manner of things shall be.
All shall be well. Okay, you can unmute yourself and join in.
Shall be well.
Be well.
All shall be well.
Is that Coach Linda?
All
Things
things shall
shall be
Sing,
well.
everybody.
all
All
shall
shall
be
be
well.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
time to
You
break
are
out.
Queenie. 23.